Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Clyde Douglas Alloway, Alex Jim Alvarez, Alan Robert Ambrodi, John Christopher Archibald, Donald Aribi, David Oliver Owen, Jackie Randall Baird, Everdeen Baker Jr., Larry Neil Bakke, David Edwin Barber, Frederick Douglass Barge, Robert Eugene Barnes, Bernard Barnes, Jerry Allen Barton, David Bashaw, Thomas Eddie Baumgartner Jr., Michael Paul Becker, Frank Edward Belcher, Frederick Lee Benechek, John Melvin Blackford, James Lucian Glaze, Larry Hanson Bowen, Edward Lewis Bradford, David Watson Brantley, David Joe Breedenkamp, Lawrence Arthur Brooks, David Clarence Brown, Dan Bullock, Donald Wayne Bunn, Philip Dwayne Burfoot, Wynne Leonard Burlingame, Wayne R. Barrage, Michael Patrick Callahan, Jerry Donald Carter, James Douglas Carter Jr., Robert Ray Catherman, John Joseph Chase, Jerry Nolan Chrisman, Ronnie Lee Claiborne, John Asher Combs, Samuel Champion Copeland, Richard Francis Corcoran, Thomas Richard Coors II, Mark Lane Corey, William Carl Costa, Kevin Mark Coyne, James Otis Crabtree, Charles Rhea Cranford, David Anthony Crilly, Ronald Lee Crooks, Buckner Crump Jr., Donald Merritt Cuff, Walter Joseph Dart Jr., Harris Von Zell Davis, Frederick Hutchinson Davis, Larry Charles Davison, Richard Lawrence Delaney, Normand Camille Deshane, David Ernest Dixon, David Lee Dodson, Michael John Donovan, Anthony Duty, Larry James Englandsdorfer, Anthony Michael Eilers,
Coney Ellis, Robert Lloyd Emerson, Robert Francis Enderby, Alf Edward Erickson, Johnny B. Espy, George Arthur Essery, Henry C. Ettle, Jr., William Larry Evans, Peter Clarence Ferguson, Kenneth Laverne Ford, Charles Stephen Franco, Edward Francis Furlong, Jr., Harry Paul Gamble, Alvy Wayne Gap, Richard Garcia, David Z. Garcia, Terrell Gibson, Walter Golazewski, Gail Edward Gotti, Robert Lee Greer, Dale Eugene Griffith, Jimmy William Hall, Donald Dale Hall, Orla Daniel Hammock, Samuel James Hanna, Doyle Lee Harris, Donald Harry Hartness, Thomas Michael Healy, Robert Bernard Hemness, Curtis Lynn Hendrickson, Sheldon Wayne Hicks, Dayton Joseph Hooks,
Michael Clint Hope, Jason David Honeycutt, Ralph Edward Hunt, Jr., Benny Leo Huxon, Terry Floyd Houston, Dennis Anthony Iasello, Salvatore Iazea, John Charles Jacobs, Jesse Lewis Johnson, Kenneth Michael Johnson, John Kallevis, Kenneth Ray Kiefer, John Arthur Keepnews, James Allen King, George Delmer Kinnett, Rodney Edwin Kenyon,
Richard Carl Knack, Richard Knapp, Andy Neville-Bard, James Frank Konesny, John Edward Kersmarchik, Robert John Kukwe, Jerome Dean Kupperschmid, Robert Vaso Kurilich, Rex Alfred Leduc, David Alfred Land, Thomas Paul Landman, Stephen Earl Larson, John Benny Lasky, Robert Michael Leahy, Clifford John T. Leffler, John Stephen Lewis, Raymond Leba, Joel Conrad Loftus, Ralph Terrence Lohman, William Thomas Lynn, Larry Wayne Martin, Charles Leon Matthews, Benjamin Lee McCullough, Phil Jean McDonald, Paul Martin McGrath, Carl Mason Middlebrooks, Luis Enrique Milan Anavitarte, Stephen Lawrence Millett, Stephen Hugh Montgomery, Larry Lee Morris, Joseph Anthony Mott, Robert Charles Murray,
Marvin Eugene Neely, Bruce Robert Neeson, Kenneth Purcell Newton, William Gunther Norberg, Michael William O'Leary, Joy Leonard Owens, David Allen Paddock, Bruce Allen Pancook, David Allen Patton, John Thomas Paulin, Ira Hilton Perkins Jr., Kenneth Joseph Pittry, Wayne Monroe Pitts, John Randall Pointier, Ronald Harry Porter, Johnny Lee Proctor, Michael Edward Rains, Charles Glenn Rawls, Edward Robert Raymond III, Miguel Angel Rivera, Cristobal Riviera Cruz, Ronald Edward Rockefeller, Michael Craig Rocky, James Rundle Jr., Harold Reeves Sale Jr., Robert Louis Sandner, William Edward Sapp, John Andrew Scarpinato, Fred Thomas Schreckengast, Gregory Allen Shelley, Frank Joseph Chauvelin, Kenneth Lloyd Small, Dean Calvin Spencer III, John Stanley Staff, Alton Leon Staples III, John David Stenhouse, Victor Arnaldo Tafoya, Raymond Thurl Talbert, Eddie Thomas Terry, Jerry Lynn Thomas, Isaac Thomas Jr., Dale Earl Thompson, Reynaldo Lerma Torres Jr., Michael Warren Travis, Joseph Trejo Jr., Richard Toby Triello, Stuart Hankel Tyson, Francis Pedro Valdez, Philip Andren Van Dusen, Edward Arnold Verkouteren, Gregory Paul Verkreis, Walter Leonard Ward, Leonard Charles Warnick, Leland Douglas Welch, Gregory John Welch, Mitchell Allen Wentz, Ernest Lamar Wesley, Robert J. Westrait, Loy Neal Whaley, Fletcher Danny Whips, Leon White, Kurt Michael Wilbrecht, Ronald Anthony Williams, Brian Carl Winner, David Lee Womble, Larry Eugene Worthen, Edward Satoru Yamashiro, William Francis Zahn Jr.